Probably not. So let's talk about Halloween, the topic at hand, alright? See this mask? I'm not going to keep this shit on for the whole video because I already tried that and it didn't really work very well. So let's talk about Halloween just to begin with, right? Now, I enjoy Halloween. Sometimes I don't, because I feel like sometimes it's just not that interesting to me anymore. As a kid, Halloween is fantastic, right? Halloween is a great time to kind of like really soak up the fantasy just to begin with, because when you're going to Party City, when you're dressing up, whatever it may be, you want to become your kind of favorite characters, kind of lived out that fantasy for the most part. And I talk about how like fantasy sometimes can be a good thing, sometimes it can be a bad thing, whatever it may be. But I feel like for Halloween, it's just a time that you just kind of like let loose. And I feel like that's kind of like the best time to kind of, have fun really, with the, illusion. To me, just general. Now, Halloween as a kid, I feel like it's really great because you kind of essentially are living like the greatest dream ever, because as a kid, you don't really see people dressed as characters. You see just like the characters just to begin with. You're in essentially like some kind of weird universe where Batman can be in the same universe as Dora the Explorer and, Pac-Man, and, Superman can go toe-to-toe with, the Incredible Hulk. In some weird way, and you only kind of see the fantasy aspect of it. So I feel like that's kind of what is very fun as a kid usually to kind of do. Trying to dress up and find like the right costume for like the latest cool character. That's all kind of fun, and that's kind of what the best part of Halloween usually is. Sometimes the preparation is a lot more better than the end result usually. Now, collecting candy is obviously a thing that everybody kind of does, except maybe in some ghetto families like my family, or some families just to begin with. Probably every family usually. But I collect candy, right, as a kid. I never ate the candy, particularly because my mom would just be like, whoa, don't you put that candy in your mouth. That shit probably got roofies. Roofies where? Roofies in your Snickers probably. That's just a simple case to begin with. Now, to me, I never really ate candy because I'm not a real big candy guy, believe it or not. I just don't eat candy. It's fun collecting it and kind of like counting it afterwards, kind of compare against, brothers and sisters. See who one has the most candy. But other than that, I really don't like that. I see the most frequent thing I see is like M&Ms. People give M&Ms. But like I said, Halloween as a kid is just kind of like fun to kind of see. But then the next step of Halloween, the evolution, what you kind of like see is this, that when you have like little brothers and sisters, and not necessarily brothers and sisters on your same level, you eventually have to take them trick-or-treating, whatever it may be. And then the parents kind of take a step aside, and then you're taking them, whatever, and then you kind of see the fantasy from a distance, the same way your parents did. And then you start to realize that you're kind of the adult. You're getting old. This thing is not really for you, Halloween, anymore. And then you start to kind of hate Halloween a little bit, unfortunately. And because it's just not fun. It's like watching somebody play a game. You can get some slight joy out of it, but it's not going to be as fun as actually doing it yourself, for the most part. And that's just kind of how it pretty much is. Now, the next step for Halloween is once you kind of get a little bit older. Obviously, once you get older, it's not even about candy. It's not even about, seeing these different universes come together. It's more about sex. It's more about slutifying the shit up. And don't get me wrong, Halloween is probably the next best time to watch attractive women kind of release the cleavage and the ass shots. Next to fucking summer, just to begin with. But, don't be, looking too hard because, otherwise you probably get a boner, and then obviously you're going to probably scare Dora the Explorer away, because those type of things tend to happen to everybody, right? But overall, Halloween as an adult, it gets weird sometimes. And I'm talking about like eyes wide shut weird, to the point where you just start to have these like weird sexual, sex acts kind of going on at these parties for the most part. Because to me, you tend to have like Batman having sex with mixed Pac-Man, Black Widow blowing fucking, the Joker or whatever it may be. It's weird combinations usually. It's all about the sex. It's all about that. Now, to me, this is just my personal opinion, Halloween is really the best time to get a blowjob. And I mean, it's the best time really to get laid. Why? Because everybody's drunk. Nobody gives a shit. People are not even interested if they're banging a box or a plant. Most of these chicks are pretty much just like out of their fucking minds, to the point where they're only interested in kind of like having the story of saying, shit, did I just bang the Joker last night? You damn right you did. You banged the Joker. And that's the same thing for a dude. A dude is probably interested in being like, you tell me I fucking banged She-Hulk? Oh, shit. It adds for an interesting story. That's kind of like what it is. Everybody's interested in just kind of having sex for the most part. Everybody slutifies it up. Guys fucking show their abs off if they have any. And then some that don't, for some reason, still show their stomachs. It's a very weird thing, Halloween as an adult. But it's definitely kind of fun. So if you're a shy person, if you drink a lot, and you kind of go to a party, it's the best time probably for you to get laid, especially if you haven't had sex in a while. It's a good chance you're going to get it. Women don't care about what you look like under the mask. If you have a good enough costume, there's a good chance all eyes are going to be on you pretty much at that party. So I think you're going to be golden. If you're a cosplayer, oh, you're getting laid tonight. You're probably getting 6 blowjobs. You're probably having an orgy. But that's just my thought to begin with. Halloween is a very strange time. It's like I said, it's not about having fun per se in the essence of a childlike manner, but it's more about just like having sex. It's all about sex once you get older, pretty much, and that's kind of like what it is. But that's just my thought on Halloween. I think it's fun, especially if you're kind of, I shit you not, there was a time where I saw Michael Myers, guy just like Michael Myers, getting blown by Dora the Explorer. As fucked up as that actually sounds, that is 100% legit the truth. But it's a weird Halloween. You kind of enjoy it as a kid more, but then you see the other side of Halloween. It's not as enjoyable, but it definitely adds for more interesting stories. But that's my thought on Halloween. But then again, what makes me qualified to talk about this shit? Comment, subscribe, and like. I'm Chris Smith, and I'm signing out.